Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of the Nerdpocalypse Podcast. I'm your host, Jay. I'm here with my co-host, Micah.
Hey.
All right, guys, we're back. This episode, there are a decent amount of things to talk about, so let's jump right into it. And checked out this week, I watched a couple episodes of The Chair. This is the new Netflix series starring Sandra Oh, about a woman who is obviously, Sandra Oh is Asian, Korean, I believe, and she newly becomes the chair of her English department at this college that she works at. And she's saddled with this English department that is mostly white, old and white. In a school, I believe they say is like 85% white staff or, white faculty. And the whole point, like it's a comedy of sorts, like a comedy drama. It's just about like being a person of color trying to make their way in this like very white institution. And it's also about kind of making fun of college, like upper class, college faculty. So my wife who taught college can 100% relate to the insanity that is teaching college. It's hilarious. It's got some of the funnier moments. Like she's got one person on her staff who's like this hotshot writer. But he's like a general kind of a fuck up, but like he's a really popular, professor. Like everybody wants to take his class. Then they've got, these like three super old, professors who nobody wants to take their class because they seem all boring. And she's like tasked on firing them to get money in her department and shit like that. It's hilarious. I think it's 6 30-minute episodes. I'm pretty sure it's going to get a second season. I highly recommend it. Like, even if you never worked in higher ed, or knew anybody who did, I feel like you would get a kick out of this. I feel like you would like this a lot, actually.
My wife started watching this, but she hasn't said anything about it. So I don't know if it passes her test.
Right.
But if it doesn't pass her test, then it'll probably pass mine. So
okay.
I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, it's good. But Jay Duplass is the sort of like crazy popular writer, but also the general fuck up. And he's also been sleeping with Sandra Oh's character, Ji Yoon Kim. So like they have a sexual relationship, but they're also trying to keep it like very professional. He used to be the chair of the department, and then he's not anymore. So it's like there's like all these like really kind of funny dynamics, but it's really quite good. I think you would dig it. Let's Micah, you have not watched this. I watched the first episode of Why the Last Man. This is the new FX on Hulu series, based on the Michael K. Vaughan comic, which if you've never read Why the Last Man, you should, because it's excellent. It's a really, really good series. But the series is basically about something strange happens and it ends up killing all of the males across the planet, animals, and humans included, except for one guy named Yorick and his male capuchin monkey named Ampersand. And the series starts out in a very interesting way. It starts the day before this happens, because it happens like all the humans die like pretty much all at the exact same time, right? But the first episode builds all the way to that in the last few minutes. And it's really good. Like it does a really good job of building suspense. And when it gets to that moment, it's really horrendous. Like in the comic, it doesn't feel as horrible. Like it's just like, oh, okay, this is a story. Let's just move on. And get to it. This feels horrendous because you really get to know some of the male characters and like showing their dynamics with the female characters. So you actually are like, oh, like that guy was all right. Like, oh, and that guy just straight up fucking died in a horrible way. Right. Like it's pretty wild. And Diane Lane plays, the main character's mother, who is the congresswoman in this. She's very good. Like if you've never read the comic, read it. Maybe watch the series first and then read it. Depending, I'm sure they'll change some things. But so far, as a person who's read the comic, I was pretty impressed, considering this has been in development hell for 15, maybe almost 20 years at this point.
I will check it out. You mentioned Diane Lane. I watched something that she was in that you saw. I think you talked about it already, so I won't get deep into it.
Let Him Go?
Yeah, I watched Let Him Go.
Yeah.
It's a really good movie, man. Like it's
fucked up.
It's good. It's a little slow in parts, but they're old people, so they move a little slow.
Yeah, they're like, I'm gonna drive my car to this town in real time. You're like, fuck.
They're not that old, actually. I had to look up how old some of these people were. How old Diane Lane and what's his name?
Kevin Costner.
The Bodyguard, Waterworld. Yeah, Kevin Costner.
Bodyguard, Waterworld. What is your name?
They're not that old. I was like, wow, you don't like, you look good, Diane Lane, but I thought you were in your 60s. And Diane Lane's in her 50s.
Really? They really do make her look much older in that movie compared to Why the Last Man.
Yeah, because she's 56.
She looks great.
And yeah, she does. But she looked a lot older in that movie.
She did.
But it was very good. Those white people were creepy.
Yo, they were wild.
The wee boys, they were wild, man.
Take his hand. I'm like, wait, what? No, don't do it.
See, that's why you like it. This is better than The Walking Dead.
Yeah, look, finally. Yeah, they actually did it. They had the balls to do it. That's right.
But yeah, that was a good movie. That was a good movie. So
yeah, it's fucking tragic in a lot of
yeah,
ways.
It was. We had to watch Ted Lasso immediately afterwards.
I need something light.
I need something wholesome.
Right.
I need to smile. God damn.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I forgot that WitchCom comes out on Wednesdays. What If? So I had to watch it right before we started. The latest What If episode. What if Killmonger got what he wanted? I mean, what if Killmonger saves Tony Stark? And I enjoyed it, but I think the story was doing a little too much, right? I think Killmonger's
there's a lot going on in this episode.
Killmonger's plan is all over the place. And that's the thing that's like irking me about this episode.
Mm-hmm.
I like the performances just fine, but the thing that was irking me about the episode is the actual like plotting of it. Killmonger's plan was way simpler in the first movie, and simple is better, right? In the first movie. In the movie, he is basically working with Claw to attack or to get Claw set up to invade or attack Wakanda. And then he turns on him, right? And presents him as like a trophy, like, hey, here's a trophy. I've come in peace. I did something that your Black Panther can't do. It's my birthright to challenge for this. And then I'm going to challenge for it. Right. And then he proceeds that way to get into Wakanda and then execute, Order 66. Right.
Right.
But in this show, he rescues Tony Stark. He gets in his good graces so that he can use Tony Stark's resources to create an army of liberators, super soldiers,
Gundams,
Gundams. I like anime.
I kind of love that because that's true to him. Like he actually does like anime.
Yeah, like that whole Killmonger outfit is inspired by Vegeta from Dragon Ball. So he likes anime.
Look, I'll just say it just as a sidebar. If that nigga wants to play Vegeta in a live action Dragon Ball Z movie, I'm here for it. Like I am. Like I got zero issues with it. That's fine. Let him do it. I think he would crush it.
So he uses Tony Stark and his resources to create an army of super soldiers and then uses those super soldiers to help Claw invade Wakanda so that he can go to Wakanda and defeat the soldiers to show that he is loyal to Wakanda. But at the same time, he's playing both sides against the middle, but he's in the middle doing it, right? Like
you're right. I mean, and couple all of that with, they still added in the plot of him using Claw as a trophy to get into Wakanda.
Right.
Like it was a lot. I really enjoyed the episode, but I found myself being like, am I following the plot correctly? Like, as far as like all the switchbacks, like it could have been simpler.
Right. Like he's framing Wakanda for the Wakandans for the murder of Rhodey and Iron Man. So, and then he's framing, he's trying to get Wakanda to go to war with America, right? But
why?
To what end?
Right. And then you place yourself in Wakanda? That doesn't make any sense.
I mean, I guess it's just to kill oppressors or colonizers or whatever, right? But at the same time, he says, while he's in Wakanda, yeah, I want a little more than just like, your acceptance, right? Which implies that like he wants to take over Wakanda, or he wants to be the new Black Panther,
right? Which he gets to do.
Which he gets to do. But like, I don't understand what his goal is. In the movie, his goal was infiltrate Wakanda, use their vast resources to send out armaments to to all of the people who are oppressed in the world, to burn the system down. And in this, he's playing both sides against the middle, but he's doing it sloppy because Shuri is able to figure out that he is playing both sides against the middle so that she can talk to Pepper, and hopefully they can convince the two sides to come together. I don't know, I don't know.
I feel like it suffered. The episode suffered from the fact that it's like an incomplete story, right? Like, had it had some time to be fleshed out. And look, don't get me wrong, I did enjoy it. I'm not.
I had a fun time with it. Looking at the visuals and looking at some of these Black Panther characters, like putting in work.
Yeah,
having Angela Bassett putting in work.
Right, yeah, having Angela Bassett's character be like a full-on like Dora Milaje. I was like, okay, like
she's a fucking Dora Milaje general.
Yeah, I was like, all right, that's kind of dope.
Yeah, yo,
that's kind of dope, right?
That's hot, man. Like,
I'm into it. Shit. Yeah, I'm in
it. But I feel like this what if I don't, taking the what if concept and turning things on their head, like you got to turn a little more, right? Like,
right.
Ultimately, Killmonger was the same character. He just went about things a different way. The fact that Tony Stark was not Iron Man anymore didn't
change anything.
Right. It didn't change anything. I want this concept to really change things, man. Like I want to see super interesting stories. And this story just didn't do it. It wasn't the best. It wasn't the best. It certainly wasn't the worst. No. But it's on the lower. It's how many others? 6?
This is the 6th one, yeah.
It might be like on the lower end for me in terms of like plot. I mean, if you just want to dumb it down and just be like, yo, this looks cool. No, it looks cool.
Yeah, no, it did. It did. I mean, the one thing I find interesting, and I have not seen any pushback, and I'm surprised, is that they really did stick with having T'Challa be killed. Like, considering the real world connection to losing that actor. I'm surprised that they were like, let's rewrite this. I'm honestly surprised they didn't rewrite it.
I think they kept it, and what I think they had Jeffrey Wright come in and do that last line.
100%. 100%.
That's
heroes never die.
That's right. And I think that message is a wonderful way to say goodbye to Chadwick Boseman and to T'Challa. It was, all it was missing was a title card, because you could, and I don't know if it's just me, in hindsight, but you could hear it in his voice, man.
You could. No, you could. He didn't sound, it was clear that they did this episode later than they did the Star-Lord episode. You could hear a little bit more weakness in his voice. Absolutely. That wasn't just you.
Yeah. And it just made me sad, man. Yeah. It made me sad. But I think that's what that Jeffrey Wright line was at the end. Just one final goodbye. Now I can't help but, awkward transition. I can't help but to think about the next Black Panther movie.
Of course.
And do you think, I'm just spitballing. I'm not saying confirmed. Like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm just spitballing.
No, that's what the name of this episode is. Black Panther 2 details confirmed.
Do you think that now that the multiverse is a thing, do you think that this Black Panther story is a part of the main MCU timeline? Or would it be something a little different? Well, I mean, I guess technically if they made it like an Elseworlds or a multiverse story, they could recast T'Challa and be like, see, it's multiverse. But they're dead set on not doing it. So
they're not going to do it.
Yeah, I don't know. I just wonder. I wonder what the multiverse is going to the idea of the multiverse, how that's going to play into the MCU.
I mean, I know largely, I think people are seeing this as not important. Like, they're like, oh, I'm enjoying it, whatever, or not enjoying it, and thinking that it has no ramifications. I disagree. I think it will have ramifications. I think there is 100% the thought process that if any of these characters or any of these sort of like quirky retellings super work, that you could see not a full movie, but you could see reference to it in a live action movie. There's no way that anybody at Marvel hasn't thought, well, we could get Haley Atwell to throw on that costume for a moment in Doctor Strange. Right? You going through the multiverse of madness, he pops into a world and is like, what's going around? And like, what's going on? And then like, he turns and there's like fucking, Peggy Carter and was like, what's up, dude? Like, oh shit, that's all you need. Like, you just need a moment. Like, it doesn't have to be a full movie. She doesn't have to show up in Captain America 4 and all that. Like, it doesn't have to be all that. But I'm sure that they are thinking this is a way of like kind of going down the list. Like, fan response to that was like pretty high. Yeah, why not? Besides T'Challa being Star-Lord, because it's just simply not possible. And I don't think they would do like some like photorealism type of thing. Any of that stuff is possible. Like you could do any glimpse of it that you wanted to. So, I don't know. I mean, I would be lying if I said that I am incredibly interested to see how they write this story for Black Panther 2 or for Wakanda Forever. Like, I don't know, but it's going to be super interesting. Like, how do they explain his death? Like, he's Black Panther. How did he die? Right?
Or do they not? Right? Like, is this just, do they broaden that world and flesh it out by making it but that would be more in line of what like a TV series would do, right? Like,
you can't he's too big of a character. You can't ignore the king.
The title of the movie is Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Like, people are going to expect to see Black Panther in a movie with Black Panther in the title.
I mean, I figure
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Look, at this point, I assume that the mantle gets pushed down to either Shuri or what's Lupita Nyong'o's character's name? Nakia. Like, that's my guess. Is it's one of the two of them. I mean, I also wouldn't be mad if it was Okoye, to be honest. I really wouldn't be. Like, she's physically the one who could pull it off that would be the most believable. If we're being honest, like about the characters, like Okoye stands toe to toe with anybody, like in the MCU basically as a fighter. So giving her basically superpowers, okay, that would be fine by me. I think it would be dope. Like I love the storyline of like, hey, you protected my family when even your husband was a fucking treasonous piece of shit. And for that, we're going to give you this highest honor. Like, because you believe in this country, you know? And it's like, all right. I think people would be like, that makes sense. And it'd be kind of dope. Not gonna lie. But we'll see. I mean, who knows what they're going to do? Maybe they do the Midnight Angels. I have no idea. But there's so much of that world that needs to be fleshed out, that can be fleshed out. I have no idea. It always just struck me kind of weird in the way that they've done Shuri. I just don't see her as suddenly a warrior. But maybe that's what her arc is that here she is this tech nerd, but they're like, look, now you need to get in on this shit.
Or maybe she does it her way, right?
Right.
Like maybe she fights using tech or something.
Yeah, but that feels more.
You already got a black woman coming up that's about to fight using tech.
Right. You need somebody who's like, let me put the pause on you. like that's what you need. And I feel like Okoye is a good choice. Like, one, you got a great actor playing the character. Like, she's a nerd favorite anyway for her time on Walking Dead. So why not? I think you could. I think that to me would make a lot of sense, and I'd love to see it. But look, I'm not going to pretend like suddenly they make some choice. I'm like, oh, I'm not watching these movies anymore. Like, that's not true. Yeah. So I'm just interested. I'm just interested as hell to what they're planning. So, because apparently they hadn't written the story before he died. So it wasn't like, oh, this is a story about T'Challa. No.
You know what? That's probably the best thing. That's the best scenario that could have happened.
Yes.
In light of a tragic passing, that's the best thing that could.
Yeah. Can you imagine trying to rewrite a script that you based all around him?
Yeah.
No, because Coogler was like, no, we haven't. Like, either he wasn't finished or he hadn't even started. So, or like he was in like early stages, if I recall. So, but it certainly was not like, oh no, this is a done deal. We're ready to start filming. Like, nope.
Yeah.
Which would have been like, okay, we got to recast this character.
Or I think at that point you might have to have,
or push it off, and then that would have like thrown everything into a fucking tailspin. So
no, they weren't going to push it off. It made too much money. It made too much money to not do
right
in a timely manner. Right, like I don't know. It all sucks, but like you said, I too am super interested in seeing what this movie is going to be.
Yeah. We'll find out.
I'm not interested in this. Bryce Dallas
You're
Howard,
the worst.
I'm not. Bryce Dallas Howard is set to return to Disney Plus to direct a female-led reboot of the classic 80s children's film Flight of the Navigator. Look, I'm not interested, not because Bryce Dallas Howard is doing it, because I've never seen Flight of the Navigator.
What?
I don't know what the fuck it's about. And
so my first statement about you being the worst was 100% correct. 100% correct.
The original movie was released in 1986 and followed a 12-year-old boy who was abducted by a UFO and reappears 8 years later at the exact same age with no memory of what happened. It was a modest success. Oh, okay. So I'm fine in my not have seen.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
But never really achieved the same classic status as the likes of E.T. or The Neverending Story, two movies that I did see. But it has developed a cult following over the years. So
that's how you know a movie's really good, when it has a cult following.
yeah. What a bunch of Kool-Aid drinkers.
Yeah, exactly.
Decided to drink it, to watch it. The new take on the story will feature a female protagonist, but nobody has been cast in the role yet. The reboot is being developed for Disney Plus, with John Schwartz, Howard's partner, as the production company Nine Muses, and Justin Springer on board as producers. Look, I don't have any beef with this.
I I love this movie.
Name a memorable line from it.
I don't know if I can name a memorable line because it's 1986. I was 6 years old.
Okay,
so
name a memorable line from E.T.
I honestly don't know. I didn't really like E.T. as a kid. Oh, all right, fine. Well, just Reese's Pieces.
Well, there you go.
But for me, Flight of the Navigator was such a fucking cool movie. I'm just reading the Wikipedia here, but this is also true. It was one of the first movies to use extensive CGI. Right. For the actual ship. I just thought that was like the most amazing thing. And it was like, it had that sort of like cloak and dagger kind of thing of like secret government experiments and like the government has this alien ship and like this little boy gets on it and shit goes left. It's a cool movie. Like it's a cool kids movie. It's a very cool kids movie. I think it's on Disney Plus right now. Actually, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I would imagine.
Yeah,
I would imagine it's on Disney Plus.
Like I feel like when our kids are a little bit older, maybe 6 or so, because it came out in 86 when I saw it, they get a kick out of it. Like I feel like they would, especially I'm sure the newer version. But it's a fun movie about adventure and stuff like that. And it's got that weird 80s Disney thing where it's like dealing with like lost children, which is like kind of tragic. And he meets his little brother who he's now older than, or his little brother's older than him. And it's like, there's some like general weirdness of like, is this really appropriate for kids? But it's like, Flight of the Navigator, like, let's get on an alien ship and ride around with aliens. It's kind of fun. So there's like just a very strange Disney thing in the 80s.
I got to tell you, you might not believe me. You might not believe me.
I don't.
I had never heard of this movie.
Yo, that's insane. That's insane.
I had never heard of this movie. Like, I didn't know what Flight of the like. I'm like, Flight of the Conchords? No,
the New Zealand guys?
Right. Like, nah, I've never seen this movie. I've never even heard of this movie. So, hey, man, look, as Terrence has wanted to say, you like it, I love it. Have at it.
Yeah, it's a fun movie. I would say if you've never seen that movie and you have like little kids that are like 6, 7, 8 years old, let them check it out. Like they might actually enjoy it. It's got some cute little aliens, like this little fuzzy one that like lives on the ship is like one of the experiments. Yeah, it super works. But I highly recommend it for kids. Like if you're 45 and you never seen this movie, don't watch it. Just don't watch it. You cynical asshole, Micah. Like just don't. There's no point. You'll hate it. All right.
Well, I'm not 45 yet, so hey, I can.
You still have time. You got 6 months.
Watch it now, right?
Yeah, 6 months. Good for you.
6 months. Get out of here. I'll be 43 goddamn years old when that Spider-Man game comes out.
Yeah, that's insane.
I'll be 43 when that Spider-Man game.
Nigga, we gonna be 55 by the time Secret Wars comes out. Like, just relax.
Look, Anthony Mackie is going to play a character named John Doe in a live-action Twisted Metal series from Sony and PlayStation Productions. Okay. Look, Twisted Metal is
weird.
A car combat game. Yeah, those things were all the rage at one point.
They really were. And Carmageddon, wasn't that another one?
That was another one. And the most violent of all of them, Super Mario Kart, was technically a car combat game.
Still one of Nintendo's all-time greatest games. Period. It is.
So Twisted Metal it's a car combat game, and it's basically like this dude, I think his name is like Calypso, and he's like, hey, I'll grant you, your greatest wish if you win this car combat tournament, right? Like that's that, and then each individual person has their reason for going into it. The mascot for the Twisted Metal series is a serial killer who drives an ice cream truck who has a flaming head. The reason that guy's head is on fire is because he was given the electric chair, and the electric chair, the thing you put on your head started to explode and fucking, fires on his head, but he survived, and now he's just walking around with a flaming head. His name is Sweet Tooth.
No, that's reasonable. That's a completely reasonable backstory.
Absolutely.
I can't wait to watch this show.
I actually can't wait to watch it. Look, if this Twisted Metal show is going to be anything like Twisted Metal Black, I am super excited for it.
Wasn't that the monkey paw? That was like the monkey paw one, right?
Yeah, like everybody has, like I said, it starts out with all of these people who have their own issues, and they meet up with this guy, and that's the opening cutscene, and then you play the game, and then you get the ending. And the ending is always something that is the monkey paw thing, where your greatest wish is granted to you in a very literal way.
Right.
And I forget what John Doe's story is. He's probably the amnesiac, because he can't remember his name, so they call him John Doe. I can't remember off the top of my head, but when we're done recording, I'm going to watch all of the Twisted Metal Black stories on YouTube, because they're very good. Now, I want this to be...
Well, how does this going to work? Like, every week there's a tournament? Like, is this going to be wacky racers like Hanna-Barbera's wacky races? That's what I assume.
I'm hoping it's going to be like Death Race, right? Like, I'm hoping it's going to be like Death Race, but you get the characters... they have to be more fleshed out, because you have to tell a story, right? Like,
right.
You can't just have this car combat like thing, right? I believe it's going to be the journey of probably one person, probably John Doe.
My guess, you're not putting an A-lister like Anthony Mackie in this to be a side character.
Right? You're not putting him in, and he has a backstory that is like, bog standard for some shit like this, right? Oh, I can't remember I can't remember who I am, and in order to find out who I really am, I got to win this car combat tournament. And then along the way, you get more information about this character and this guy. I don't know. I'm curious about it.
I would not disagree with that. I am extremely curious, because this feels like the weirdest property to try to adapt. But they're going to adapt it for Sony TV / PlayStation Productions. So, okay, sure.
All right. We shall see. Viacom launches BET Studios. Is that the studio that was responsible for the latest Black on Black?
Don't do that. Don't do that. Like, this is actually a good story.
Oh, okay.
This will prevent things like that from happening, I hope.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I'm looking at the people that they have here, and I'm like, okay, I take back what I said. Viacom CBS is formally launching BET Studios, which will offer Black creatives an equity stake and a place to produce for outlets within and outside the media conglomerate. Oh, this is really good news.
Yeah.
They cite Kenya Barris, who left a 9-figure deal at Netflix for a stake in the venture. Rashida Jones, 9 figures.
No. No.
Rashida Jones and SWAT co-creator Aaron Rashawn Thomas will be principal partners in BET Studios. Former Warner Brothers television executive Aisha Summers Burke will head the studio as executive VP, and general managers. Look at Black people doing it.
Doing it for themselves via Viacom. I'm not mad at this. I'm not giving up 9 figures. I'm not giving up 9 figures. But I don't have money like that. Because I don't know what to do. They'd be like, you need to sell out for Netflix. I'd be like, that is correct. I need to do that. I like Kenya Barris. I think he is genuinely a pretty talented guy. I like Rashida Jones. I don't know any of the shows that this other guy, Aaron Rashawn Thomas, has produced. I've never watched SWAT and stuff like that, but good for him. I'm happy to see Black faces there. Look, I think this is important because BET has become, and I truly don't mean this to be mean. I mean this like this is coming from honesty, right? This is coming from a place of love, as they say. It's become a joke, and it shouldn't be a joke. It should be very serious. Like, doesn't mean every program they do has to be hyper serious, stuff like that. But yeah, why don't they have Kenya Barris? You're Black Entertainment Television, for fuck's sake. Why wasn't Blackish there? Right? Like, the one thing that BET has never had is they've never had that show that they put out that everybody's like, oh shit, we gotta watch that BET show, right? Like, they normally put out some shows that are like okay at best, that are generally laughed at more than anything else. Like, putting talent and money behind someone like Kenya Barris, you might get another Blackish, right? You might get a show that really pulls people in. And I don't mean white people. I just mean like people of color, Black people specifically, like really proud of something and be like, this is a really good show, right? Because in a lot of ways, we force the narrative. If like Black people are talking about a show on Twitter a lot or on social media, people watch it, right? Black and white, right? So if they could get a show that was so good that everyone's talking about it, and is really meaningful, that could put BET Studios on the fucking map. It's long overdue. It really is. So I'm happy to see Rashida Jones and Kenya Barris working on this, and Aaron Rashawn Thomas. I really am. Cause somebody over there needs to do something. Like, Karen was a ridiculous fucking film. It was ridiculous, and they should have never done it. And they, look, no offense, and I'll be a little bit mean. They should be ashamed of that project. Like, they should be ashamed of that project. So, there's no reason for that to have ever gone out. I was way too high in that review to give
yeah, no shit.
It's like, look, man, I'm sorry, but, I refuse to do that episode seriously. Look, the people making it didn't take it seriously. Why should I take it seriously to review it? But they should not have been pleased with that. Like, it was ridiculous. So to have this kind of talent behind it to make real, salient properties, good. I support it. Absolutely. I got no problem with BET when it's firing at all cylinders. So this is good. This is smart money.
So BET, I don't know if I would. Well, I guess technically you're right in that it has been the butt of jokes. But BET serves a particular audience.
Yeah.
And I respect that audience and their right to watch, stuff catered to them.
True.
But it also used to be more, like they used to have the news on BET.
They did.
Like, they used to have like Teen Summit, where young people got together to talk about issues. Young Black people got together to talk about the issues affecting them and their community. And then, it had some like entertainment stuff, right? Like, it had like 106 in Park and stuff like that.
Yeah, stuff was incredibly popular.
Right. But it also has stuff like CETA. You know what I mean?
Oh, the digital thought, yes.
Yeah, like, and it had stuff that didn't, and look, it didn't get it to me, but I'm the Black friend that white people have to prove that they're not racist.
According to that one guy. Okay, I guess.
All right. But look,
I mean, as I've often said,
I want this to be done well. I want BET to go back to what it used to be. They used to have like late night shows. Like, it used to be a channel that I think had a better variety of programming than the stuff that I see now. And you can still keep some of that stuff, right? Like, but like, I love the names that are here.
Yeah.
And I like you said, there's no one show anymore where people just kind of should be able to just like tune in. That's not like an award show. Like, even OWN has a couple of shows that people know. Like my wife will go in there and watch Queen Sugar. I almost said Brown Sugar. Queen Sugar on it's appointment television for her.
Right.
Because it's that good.
And isn't Greenleaf on there? I don't know.
Greenleaf is on there. I don't know if Greenleaf has ended or not, but that was another show.
Yeah, people were really into that show.
Yeah, people really like it. So, yeah, I hope that this is kind of a turnaround for B. I would want this to do so well. I want this to do so well that it gets back on white people's radar and they get pissed.
Yeah,
that's how that is what I am striving for.
You know what I need? You know what I need Kenya Barris to do? I need him to make Whitish. That's what I need him to do on fucking BET. That's what I need. Like give him the business, man. But no, I think you're right. Right? Like it's like I don't really care if white people are upset, like ever. But
I don't care.
But it would show that they're making impact. Like that's what it shows. But do something that is going to change the landscape. Again, BET came out and started in 1980, and I cannot think of a time. And look, and I could 100% be wrong, but I can't really think of a time where they had something, at least in the modern era, that people were just like, man, you gotta watch that show. Like universally, everybody's like, no, that show is super good. But like, largely universally, people are like, look, Queen Sugar is really great on OWN. I just haven't had a chance to watch it. Or like Terrence, the music was too loud in the first episode. He just turned it off. Like, just turn it down. But, you know, something that's gripping, that people are like, no, this is good television. Like, we need a good drama. Look, it's not trying to beat up on the guy, but like not one of these Tyler Perry dramas, like a real drama, right? Not a melodrama, like a real drama that doesn't have black people physically fighting each other and stuff like that, but just a good drama that is about something, right? That really deals with the black experience.
You can have all the Tyler novellas you want, but like you got to balance that stuff out.
You have to.
You know what I mean? Like it can't all be soap operas. It can't all be soap operas.
Right. And that's his problem. That's all he does.
Right. And look, man, I just look, there's a space for it. There's a place for it, right? Like look at if we have tailored news stations.
Yeah.
Like we have tailored news. Like news should be news, but we have tailored news. We should be able to have programming that is specifically tailored to us.
Yep.
Latin folks have
Telemundo,
Spanish-speaking channels that are tailored specifically for them.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that we don't have it. I'm saying that the ones we have, one of them needs to do a lot better, and I'm rooting for it.
Yeah. So, look, I'm hoping that money from Viacom really puts them on the map. I really am. And look, having somebody like Kenya Barris and specifically him, I think he could push. I think he could push the envelope a lot, and I think he needs to. And also, he doesn't shoot his shows cheaply, right? So, and I mean that like quality wise, not money wise. And we need that. We need higher quality television because I think a lot of times the stuff on BET is of lower quality, which immediately turns people off to it. You know, let alone the actual like content of it. So yeah, here's hoping, man. I'm rooting for them. I really am. I would love to see some great stuff coming out of BET Studios. Look, is there any, I don't know if it's only going to be television if they decide they may want to do some movies. But I would love for them to like BET Plus, make it so that like I want to get that streaming service. Yeah. Like, they got some really good shows and original movies on there. Like, y'all got to get BET Plus because they got so many good movies for black on black cinema. That's the type of shit I want to hear. And that's almost never something you hear out of them.
We were subscribed to Brown Sugar.
Yeah.
That streaming service, right? Because like they have movies that we wanted to do on black cinema. Like, right. That's it. Like, just put content there. People will come.
That's right.
That's it.
All right, next up.
BET Plus is $10 a month.
That's a little too expensive.
For what they're showing me, yeah. I don't mind paying, but look, I don't mind throwing money at a problem.
You got to drop it to like 5 or 8.
Yeah, yo.
Seven.
The Disney streaming service shouldn't be less money.
Wait, what?
How much is Disney per month?
I don't know. I have like the 4 or 3 year deal.
I think it's $7.99 a month.
No, no. BET cannot be more expensive than Disney Plus. That's crazy. That's crazy. No, they do not have the Mandalorian. Knock it off. But if they did, imagine if they did. Next up, CBS's upcoming show, The Activist, will be retooled from a competitive series into a documentary special. This is a hilarious story.
Sorry, what?
This is one of those stories where you realize some people really don't understand how stupid they are until someone tells them. So the folks over at CBS had decided that they were going to do a show. What is it? I guess it was hosted by Julian Hogue or How? Or though Ho? That's unfortunate. But the show was called The Activist, where it was a game show.
Hoff, like cough.
Okay, Hoff. Okay. It was a game show where like they pitted activists against other activists. And people were like, yo, activism isn't a game. Like, this shit is like for real. You're trying to help people for real.
Yeah, are they literally doing the Oppression Olympics?
Right, like what are you doing? Like, it's really hard to be an activist. No, it's real hard to be an activist. Like, don't do that. Like, I'm helping poor people. I'm helping 2 poor people. Like, oh, well, you won this week.
Yeah, how do you square that circle, right? Like, well, hey, 2 homeless people. I only got 1 sandwich. So the whoever can run this obstacle course the fastest will get my 1 sandwich. And the other one will just go hungry.
Yeah, like, I don't get it. Like, it's just really weird. But apparently they got a massive firestorm dropped on them about this, and people were just like, yeah, no, what the fuck, Usher, this Julian Hoff and Priyanka Chopra. With your fine self, like, what are you doing? Like, this is crazy. And they were like, okay, well, we're going to do this. We're going to turn it into a documentary with a limited a one-time documentary special. Like, our bad. I'm sorry. We got it wrong. You think maybe trying to turn activism into, like which celebrity does the best dances per week, type of show is a good idea? Yeah, it turns out.
Yeah, which activist, who's probably a minority, soft shoes the best for you? Look.
It's insane. That's an insane idea.
I Googled this woman, Julianne Hoff.
Yeah.
Yeah, Google her real quick. And you'll see a picture of her in a Halloween costume.
Oh, yeah, when she dresses Crazy Eyes. Yeah, that's her? Oh shit. That's right. Yeah, the second you said Halloween costume, I remember who she was. Yeah.
Yeah, come on, what are you doing?
Yeah, and people, because that's one of the things they threw in her face. They were like, remember that time you did blackface, bitch? And then she was like, oh, you're right. Like, I messed up. I didn't know I couldn't do that. You didn't know you couldn't do blackface in like 2018? It was not 1914. Like, knock it off.
Oh, my God.
Why the fuck Usher and Priyanka Chopra would even be involved in this is crazy to me.
Yeah,
I'm not going to Google that woman. I'm going to just Google Priyanka Chopra instead.
You put some respect on that woman's.
No, I will not. I will not. I'm a fan of Priyanka Chopra. Priyanka Chopra Jonas is a different person. I don't know who that is. Good God. Yeah. So I'm so glad that this got thrown to the wolves, but yeah, it should have never even gotten off the floor of like, hey, here's an idea. The studio should have been like, yo, that's super offensive.
Yeah, that idea should never have seen the light of day, man. It just doesn't, it's not a good look, man. It's just not.
White people are a trip.
Wow.
Yeah, white people are super wild. Like,
look, I think I'm looking at a rainbow coalition of dummies in this.
No, I agreed. That's what I'm saying. Like, how they even thought to put their name anywhere next to this is crazy to me. But I can't stay too mad at Priyanka Chopra. So I'm sorry.
What about Priyanka Chopra Jonas?
Yeah, no, she fucked up. Priyanka Chopra, she's fine. She will forever be okay by my standards. I titled this next story as simply Christopher Nolan is a wild boy. I think Christopher Nolan is an asshole. I think so. That doesn't mean I don't love your movies, dude. I do. Like, I know a lot of people didn't love Tenet. I liked it. I thought it was quite cool and inventive. Didn't hit the mark everywhere, but I enjoyed it. But this is asshole behavior. So Christopher Nolan decided, like, look, WB is putting their shit day and date on the streaming service. They fucked over all these directors. Didn't appreciate it. I'm out. Like, I've been working with WB pretty much my whole career, I think. He's like, no, fuck that. I'm gonna go somewhere else for my next movie. You know, maybe that's just temporary, and then, you know, to like really show, you know, WB like, hey, don't fuck around, right? But so he decided, hey, I'm gonna put my movie on the market, see who's interested in coming to Big Chris, see what's up. So after a trek to the director's Hollywood Hills compound, Universal, Sony, and Apple learned that he wanted, like, these are things that he wanted in order to go with them as the studio to handle his next movie. By the way, Universal won, right? Universal is going to be handling his next movie. Keep in mind, his next movie is about Oppenheimer, who created the A-bomb, who was a co-creator of the A-bomb. That's what the movie is about. This isn't about Batman. This isn't about something like super action heavy. This is about the A-bomb. This is like Dunkirk, right? Like, this is a drama. They learned he wanted total creative control. Not a surprise. It's Christopher Nolan. You give him total creative control. Like, I got no problem with that. At least 100-day theatrical window.
100 days?
Yeah. So a little over 3 months. No. But let's say, all right, you want a 100-day theatrical window?
All right. I get it.
All right, but let's table that, because when you couple it with some other information, shit don't sit right. 100-day theatrical window, $100 million budget. Okay, $100 million budget. That's not bad. That's pretty cheap for a Christopher Nolan movie, actually. Equal marketing spend. So is that $100 million in marketing? What? That's a lot in marketing. 20% of first dollar gross. So he gets 20% off of every dollar. Yeah, 20 cents on every dollar on that run. And a blackout period. This is the part that's the most egregious. A blackout period where the studio would not release another movie for 3 weeks prior to the movie and 3 weeks after the feature.
Oh, no. That's ridiculous.
Okay,
right,
so hold on. So remember when we tabled the 100-day theatrical window? 100 days. That's 3 months and 10 days. Right? You know, give or take. That's 3 months. 3 weeks is 21 days. So let's just round.
So that's 4 months.
That's 4 months. Then another 3 weeks on the end. That's 5 months. He wants his movie to come out and nothing else Universal does for 5 months.
Nah, man. Nah.
Universal signed a deal to give one director control of half of their movie year.
Nah.
What?
Nah, I can't.
Christopher Nolan has never done anything that deserves that. And I like his Batman movies too, but you gotta relax. I love Memento. You gotta relax.
Look, y'all the problem. Okay? Y'all the problem. Over there anointing this man as fucking the Jesus Christ of filmmaking, right? Like, people have been gassing this dude up. And look, I like his movies.
Yeah, I'm not gonna pretend I don't.
Do. But they're not all perfect, right? Like, people have been gassing this dude up. Plus, you gotta have a big ego to be a director anyway.
Yeah,
you know what I
do.
mean? Like, to be in this business on the creative side, you gotta have a big ego, right? You gotta be confident in what you're doing. Wow. At the same time,
yo, that's crazy.
at the same time, like, I ain't mad at him though. Like
He got it.
You get it. And he found the perfect patsy in Universal.
They don't have nothing else, yo.
Right. They don't have a lot of stuff, man.
Mission Impossible.
Their huge franchise is the Fast and the Furious franchise.
And Mission Impossible, right? Isn't that?
I think, yeah. And I think Mission Impossible. Yeah. That's it.
They don't have nothing.
I can't think of anything else. Didn't they have, I can't, I'm going to Google it, but they don't have a lot, man.
They don't. Like, yo, Universal is struggling because they're like, we'll give up 5 months of our time. 5 months? Yo, come on. That's insane. That is insane.
And he'll probably want it in the summer, right?
Right. At the prime time to, yeah, he don't want it in November. Fuck no.
I mean, unless he's making this movie and it's going to be, like you said, another Dunkirk, which
Oscar time.
Yeah, Oscar time. It was lauded, right? It was lauded. It got nominated.
Dunkirk was good.
Nominated. So, wow, I'm looking at some of their.
They don't have nothing.
Some of their franchises.
Nothing
active. They got franchises. Back to the Future. That's technically their franchise. They ain't doing nothing with it. The 50 Shades series.
That's over. Just women just getting.
Wow, they really don't have a lot. They got the Purge franchise. I heard another Purge movie is happening.
Yes. That's not on the docket, but Frank Grillo is coming back for Purge 6. I'm excited.
Oh well.
And he was basically the Punisher. He was basically the Punisher in the last one. It was great.
Yeah, I'm looking at stuff and nothing is really hitting it for me. The Lego movie, okay. Jurassic Park, but that's, I mean, somebody's going to watch it. All right, they got some stuff, but nothing is jumping out at me.
Yeah, not for 5 months. It won't be. Yo, that's an asshole move, man. But again, you got to respect he was able to be like, nah, I need that. And they were like, you got it. Wow. The funny thing is, Sony went up there and was like, maybe? Because we don't have nothing either. Apple is like, whatever, yo, we don't release movies in theaters. It don't hurt them. They got all their shit online. Like, honestly.
They're about to drop a $1,500 phone. They don't care.
Yeah, we're about to get paid. We don't make no money on TV. You don't want to watch Ted Lasso? Just Google it. It's out there. Who gives a shit? Right? Yeah, no, actually one of the streaming services actually would have been the move, right? You can have 6 months in the theater. I don't give a fuck. That's not where our concentration is. Who gives a shit? But
he's one of those like directors.
He wants to have he wants to have a big studio behind it.
The big screen. I get it. I get it.
Oh, I'm not mad at him. That's asshole behavior though.
It's just, it's funny to me, man. It's
5 months.
And it's funnier because Universal was like, okay.
We have nothing. Fast 10 don't come out for 2 more years. Like, we need you. So yeah, look forward to a very fancy Christopher Nolan movie coming out by Universal. That's absolutely nuts. The last 2 stories. Boy, do I have an opinion on this one. Shang-Chi China release unlikely in wake of unearthed comments by star Simu Liu. The Eternals hopes in question as well in China. So yeah, the folks over there running the Middle Kingdom, as China calls itself, which is really weird and kind of sad. They've decided that they unearthed these comments by Simu Liu, who was obviously Shang-Chi, where he called China a third world country that where people were dying of starvation, when he was referring to his parents when they were living under communist rule in China. Like, he's Canadian born because they fled to Canada. But that's what he was referring to. And this is like 2017 that he said this. And then the director of Eternals, Chloe Zhao had made some comments about China as well, which apparently did not go over well with the Chinese government. Interestingly enough, Simu Liu did put out something about, like, in reference to this recently, but he didn't apologize, which I thought was dope. It's like, nah, yo, everybody in China, he's like, we getting like a ton of groundswell from people in China who are really excited about the movie, and we appreciate y'all. That's it. Go fuck yourself. I'm not apologizing.
He didn't pull a John Cena and bend the knee.
No, he didn't. But I'm not even mad at John Cena for that. That's a studio.
No, I get it. Somebody told him to do it.
No, you gotta do this. Like, knock it off. Do you feel that we have now hit a point that, like, the big dogs like Disney can just say, you know what? Go fuck yourself. We're not apologizing.
I don't know, man. Money is a tremendous motivator.
Yeah.
When I know we hit that point is when you see in one of these movies a man-on-man kiss. That's when I know, all right, fuck China.
Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting.
We still haven't seen it.
Yeah, that's an interesting perspective.
And like people here,
maybe Eternals, because
maybe
they have a gay character.
Brian Tyree Henry's character is gay.
Yeah.
When I see that, then I'll be like, oh, okay.
Because they not putting that shit in China, yo.
We're finally free from not caring about what China thinks.
I mean, I think that's a really good perspective. I think that's absolutely correct. I'm very tired of them holding the reins over what we can do in movies. It's ridiculous. We shouldn't have to cater to one country because they've decided that they want to be authoritarian and don't want anything sensitive to be played there. Okay, look, you really want to fuck China over? Go for broke. All these Marvel movies that everybody wants to see, they're gonna see it. They're gonna see those movies, illegally or otherwise. They're gonna see those movies. But make a groundswell.
Yeah, they're gonna see those movies, but the studio wants people to
money.
Pay to see those movies.
Of course,
right? Like,
of course.
They don't give a fuck about the art, right? Like, and that's the problem. That's always been the problem, is that business and art don't necessarily mix,
right?
And money is a hell of a motivator. People who don't have money say, well, how much money do you need? I need a lot of it.
How much you got? How much you got?
I'm one of those people. I will take all the money in the world. I'll take all the money in the world. What I do with it is what you should measure me by, not how much my bank account is. If I'm taking all the money in the world and going to the moon with it, like, all right, a big fuck you, right? Like, but if I'm if I'm doing something worthwhile with it, then yeah, give me all the money in the world.
Again, I don't understand rich people. Buy poor people's love, dude, and then just do what you want. You have enough money.
That's it.
Like, stop being a dick. Stop being a dick. Stop being a dick. Oh, I'm going to be an asshole and then get all this money. Like, here's an idea. Like, just use your money to, like, fight political corruption and then just live your life.
Use your money to do good. That's it.
Yeah. Like, it ain't that expensive. You know how cheap? Do you know how cheap it is to buy a congressman? It's not that expensive. You can buy a congressman in Montana with no problem, yo. Like, couple grand, you're in there. You in there. Like, knock it off. I would. That's my number one goal. Like, if I had billions of dollars, I'm buying politicians. I'll tell you right now, on air, that's what I'm doing. I am. Fuck you. That's what the Koch brothers do. Well, one of them. The other one's dead. So yeah, good. Fuck that guy. But
yeah, man, they're not. Look, I understand what you're saying, right? Like, Disney, obviously, all of these studios have fuck you money, right?
Yeah,
they don't need to make movies to cater to China. I don't know why more people don't just make the movie they want to make and then edit out what they don't want China to see.
I mean, because, well, I guess think of it from an artistic perspective. Why should I have to compromise my art for these fucking assholes?
I understand. But at the same time, like, I'm thinking about it from the studio perspective. And I guess I shouldn't, right? I should like place more of an emphasis on the art, but the studios don't. So
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I'm trying to find a solution that will appease the most people.
Okay. So here's the problem. I just looked it up. I don't know we're going to be opposing China that soon. You know how much money Endgame made in China? Just in China.
Just in China? I mean,
take a guess.
How much did Endgame make total? Whatever Endgame made total, China did.
Endgame made $2.798 billion. So $2.8 billion.
That's how much Endgame made total?
Total.
2.8. I mean, I'm willing to bet that it made damn near $1 billion in China on its own.
Not quite. But it did make $630 million. That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
Yo, if a movie makes $630 million in the U.S., that is a massive success. It's a massive success. Yeah, it's a massive success. So that's a lot of money to turn down. Now you don't get top movies. You don't get top movies of all time without China. That being said, Endgame made $2.1, $2.2 billion on its own. Do we really need them? Is $600 million that big of a difference once you made $2.2 billion? I don't think so.
I don't know. Is an extra $25 is an extra, are you going to miss, do you want an extra $25 if you made 100? Like, yeah, I'll take that $25.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. But at the same time, would I take that $25? Would I rather have that $25 where I have to listen to you ramble on about your nonsense all the time? No. Fuck it. I'll take 75. Fuck you.
Look, I understand what you're saying.
But we're spending other people's money too, right? That is easy. It's super easy for us.
Right.
Well, why don't you just give up $600 million, you assholes? What's your problem?
Right. Like I can't. I don't like when people do that.
Yeah, it's because it's unrealistic. Like, you got to be honest about it. Like, you're spending other people's money.
Yeah, man. So I get it. But I see both sides, I see both sides from a domestic perspective, not from China's perspective.
Oh, right. I was like, you see America's perspective and you see the authoritarian perspective of like, no men kissing. No. I understand.
No, I don't give a fuck what their government wants. I want the people to be happy. I don't really give a damn about what their government wants.
I just want people, look, man, Shang-Chi is such an unabashed Chinese, like a love letter to Chinese cinema.
It's a love letter to that culture. From my point of view, it's a love letter to that culture, man. Right. And it should be seen by those people. It really should.
Yeah, I agree. So it's interesting. That $630 million from Endgame. Oof, that's a lot. That's a lot. But at the same time, not to spend other people's money and tell them what to do with their money. I think you have to take a stance. And I think Disney is the biggest gun. And I think if Disney does it, I think there should probably be a conversation between the other studios, the major studios, and be like, look, we don't compromise on these guys. We don't fall back. Like, let's support each other and stand tall. Right. And break their back. You have to break their back and say, we're not going to falter to you. Like, we're just not going to bend the knee. Guess what? China they trying to push all their domestic stuff and it's doing well. But at the same time, Chinese citizens want to watch a Marvel movie. They want to watch an American film. They do. And just be like, look, we're not compromising. You can choose to show our movies or not. That's on you. That's it. And look, if you make statements like that and you don't break on them, you might be able to get that stuff through. I don't know. But I think you can get a groundswell from the citizens. I don't know. People can only be oppressed so long
from the citizens, but then China just locks them down.
Yeah. But at the same time, we can't why should we compromise American art? I know you do.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like, we can't live our lives for them, but you know, $600,000.
600 million. It's 600 million. Yeah, that's a lot of money. I'm not living my life for you. What'd you say? My bad. I didn't mean to say that. I fucked up. My bad. Can I have my money back? Yeah, don't get mad at John Cena, dude. Like, that was a corporate decision. Like, that guy's just doing.
Yeah, somebody made him do that, man.
Yeah,
you know who made him do that? Universal. The people who are in dire straits.
Yeah, they were like, "Yo, we don't have anything else, and Chris Nolan's coming with a 5-month blackout. Like, we need you. We need you." Yeah. So next up, Denis Villeneuve was asked about Marvel movies, I guess, and blockbusters, and he had some choice words to say about the Marvel films. They're not, like, when you read them in context, they're not that bad of statements. But people took them and really ran with them today. He says, perhaps the problem is that we are in front of too many Marvel movies that are nothing more than cut and paste of others. Perhaps these types of movies have turned us into zombies a bit. But big and expensive movies of great value, there are many today. I don't feel capable of being pessimistic at all. Just think of the golden age of Hollywood. To see the commercial films can make a different artistic proposal and therefore political. I have never felt like a loss or any impediment to have a generous budget to do what I wanted to do upside down. Who said the movie on a big budget can't be artistically relevant at the same time? I'm currently thinking of people like Christopher Nolan or Alfonso Cuarón. Then he goes on to say, if we're talking about Marvel, the thing is, all these films are made from the same mold. Some filmmakers can add a little color to it, but they're all cast in the same factory. It doesn't take anything away from the movies, but they are formatted. Okay, I'm of two minds with this story. One, I am so incredibly sick and tired of this incredibly juvenile argument that Marvel movies are all feel the same. It's one fucking franchise. Indiana Jones all feels the same, dude. Star Wars all feels the same. It's the same fucking universe. Learn to read a book. Comic books, all Marvel comic books largely feel the same. It's a comic book. No one makes that argument. It's the dumbest argument. I hate it. I hate it. It's so fucking stupid. Just because these movies come out and there's a bunch of them doesn't mean they're not incredibly connected. If they were all wildly different, it wouldn't make any sense. You don't make Dune, you don't put in Dune and Howard the Duck in the same franchise. It doesn't make any sense. People would be like, what is this? I don't understand why that's so fucking hard for artists who make movies. So stop saying that shit. It's stupid. Right? It's stupid. Two, I honestly don't believe they watch these movies, which is annoying to me also.
If a single director directed a bunch of different types of movies that all had the same look, they would call them an auteur.
You mean like Denis Villeneuve? And I think he's an incredible artist. But Blade and Dune look the same. Blade 2049 and Dune look largely the same. Sorry, look, they fucking do. Did he do Arrival as well? Did he do Arrival?
Yeah, he did Arrival.
Also looks the same. Is the same shooting process. It's the same sort of drab cinematography that I like. Like, it's fine. It's beautifully shot and everything else, but it does look the same.
Look, couple of things. One, I used this analogy before. There's nothing wrong with a formula, especially when it works.
That's correct.
And it's as if Marvel gives you a coloring book and says you can color it however you want, just stay inside the lines.
Yep.
And the Thor franchise is the one that comes to mind as the greatest example of that, right? The first Thor movie, okay, it's kind of paint by numbers, right?
Mm-hmm.
The second one, just like, well, I mean, I don't really, it doesn't look like you finished coloring it, but you stayed inside the lines. And then Thor Ragnarok is, wow, you color these beautifully, but the colors are in wild places, right? Like, why is the sky brown? Right. And look, there's nothing wrong with films following, it's funny. That's the one thing that people can criticize these movies on. And I don't want to come off like I'm like I'm defending this corporation that doesn't need defending.
Right.
But that's the one thing that people always resort to when they want to criticize a Marvel movie is that, it kind of looks samey. It kind of looks samey. And like you said, it's because they're in a shared world, right? You know what looks samey? Anytown, USA, right? Toronto kind of looks like every city. Right. That's why they shoot there. You know what I mean? Atlanta looks like everywhere, which is why they shoot there. Because we're all in one big world.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, so I don't understand the argument. Two, I always find it really funny that these, like, filmmakers, whenever they have a movie to pimp, Marvel has to come up at some point because they know that you're going to get a soundbite, right? And they know that they're going to make the news.
So this is my second point. This is like when I said I have two minds of this. This is my second mind of this. I am so fucking sick of this need by the trades to keep asking auteur directors what they think about the most popular shit that's out there. I don't give a fuck what Denis Villeneuve thinks of the Marvel movies. I really don't. I just think his opinion is a hack fucking opinion. Right? I'm not going to pretend like, I think Denis Villeneuve's work is shit. Or, I hated Blade Runner 2049. No, I didn't. I thought it was awesome. I'm not going to say, I'm not going to watch Dune. Yes, I am. It looks fucking great. But my problem is, it is a hack fucking response from a guy who's not really concerned about that shit. He's just like, I don't know. Like, I feel like it's like a carbon copy or whatever. Like, he's probably not that invested in that answer either. The trades are super invested in that answer because that's why they keep asking Martin Scorsese. Martin Scorsese is 145 years old. The fuck you asking him what he thought of Captain America? Who cares? Right? So to me, the trades keep this shit going. Right? What do you think of this popular thing? And all that it does is traffic and controversy, right? And then what it does is Marvel fans go, fuck Denis Villeneuve. Okay, were you ever going to watch Dune? No. Then why are you so fucking mad, right? They hate him for no reason. For no reason. This dude is making movies on super nerd shit. Blade Runner 2049 and Dune. These are the most nerdy things in the last, 50 years. Like, they're super nerdy, right? Like, they make Star Wars look like child's play in comparison to, the fantasy sci-fi that they're working on, right? These guys are, this guy is working on some, super nerdy shit. But the trades will make enemies of those two, this director, and potentially people who would love his work for no reason but the horse race, right? Like, let's see them jockeying against each other. Why? You're allowed to like the Marvel stuff and Dune. It's okay. You don't have to pit them against each other. It's stupid. I hate when they try to pit DC directors versus Marvel directors or DC actors versus Marvel actors. The new thing, if you notice, one, there's a lot of crossover. The new thing is the actors will be like, yeah, no, dude, I like those movies. So why are you trying to pit me against them? It's perfectly fine. So, he's shitting on Marvel movies, yet, and I'm sure he's generally shitting on comic book movies, if we're being honest. Jason Momoa is in Dune. Batista is in Dune. Why are you shitting on those guys? Josh Brolin is in Dune. Oscar Isaac is in Dune. That's four principal actors who I can think of. Oh, what's the name? Is it Zendaya's in Dune? That's 5. That's 5. You think Timothée Chalamet is not going to end up in a comic book movie at some point? Of course he will. Right? So that's 5 principal actors that I can think of off the top of our heads. 5 that are in comic book movies. 4 out of the 5 are specifically in Marvel movies. Why are you shitting on those movies? For what reason? It makes no sense. Those are the actors that you've chosen. Surely they can't be that bad. They're all cut and paste. Dude, you're making Dune and Blade Runner 2049. You're doing a sequel to a fucking movie and you're doing a remake. I'm excited to see it, but knock it off.
A remake, which is based off of an existing property.
Right. Knock it off. Oh, they're doing a copy and paste. What the fuck are you doing? They're copy. Yes, Marvel is doing, like you're saying, oh, it's copy and paste. What's the last Marvel movie you saw? Was it Iron Man 2? Right? Because Martin Scorsese was like, I don't watch those. But had a hard ass opinion on it. Why? Just say, I don't really watch them. It's cool. Like my kids love them. Why can't you just say that shit? Or like, I don't really have an opinion on it. I want to talk about my movie. I don't understand why you want to traffic in controversy when it's the run up to your movie. What the fuck? Why? All these people are like, yo, fuck Dune. All right, cool, great. You just lost all those people, dude.
It's like, one, you probably weren't going to watch it anyway, right?
Well, that's also true.
Watch it. You probably are not a fan of this guy's work, right? Like, look, when the trailers for Dune first came out, I wasn't into it, right? I never read the book, never saw the first movie. I wasn't into it. Only now that I've seen the last trailer where it looks like it was a story trailer.
Yeah,
that it described what the movie was going to be. Now I'm interested. I love Sicario. Oh, it's an amazing film. It's fucking awesome. I hear Enemy's pretty good. I saw Arrival. It was fine.
It was fine.
I really wasn't in the mood for a slow burn sci-fi movie. That's what Blade Runner is also. And but I'm looking forward to watching Dune. I don't think this dude is like bitter, right?
No.
Like the way that the story is being framed by industry people and websites and stuff like that. It's, they're using his words out of context to get engagement, traffic, like you said. But look, I don't necessarily disagree with him. Like, I know what he's trying to say.
Sure.
But at the same time, like, it works. Now, if you say these movies are cut and paste and therefore have no artistic merit, well, then that's a problem. And he technically didn't say that, but I can see how someone would infer that.
Right.
Look, you can like both.
Yeah,
and
it's okay.
You can like both. But you better believe if Dune is not good, I'm gonna let you know.
Of course. It's only mad because I'm like, yo, this is mad long.
It's 155 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus Christ. That's part 1.
Yeah. Look, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you like, oh, I'm mad at Denis Villeneuve, so I'm not watching this movie. That would be a lie. No, I'm very excited to see Dune. I think it looks great. What I'm also not going to pretend is that just because it's an auteur director and they say some shit like this, that I agree with it. I don't. I also think that a lot of them don't watch these movies. I think they've seen.
Yeah, I think a lot of them don't care, right? I think they see the popular thing, and
they're like, they're just always making these movies. They're all copy and paste. They saw a trailer or whatever. You telling me Denis Villeneuve has seen all of the Marvel movies? You telling me he could tell you the difference between Shang-Chi and Iron Man 3?
Of course not, because they're all the same.
They're all the same, right? Like, yeah, okay, sure.
There was an extremis soldier in Shang-Chi. That's
it's basically the same movie
comparison.
Basically
it's
the
movie. Same thing.
Ant-Man and the Wasp, exactly the same as Black Panther. Exactly the same.
Because Shang-Chi had an extremis soldier, a widow, and Abomination, it is the same thing as Iron Man 3, Black Widow, and the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah. No, that's a fact.
All three of those movies. You remember in the Incredible Hulk when there was a big dragon at the end though?
Yeah, no, I remember that. Yeah. That's the director's cut. You don't know nothing about that. And they had a Chinese acting legend in it. Yeah, no, I remember. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally
absolutely.
the second worst movie in the MCU.
Remember Michelle Yeoh was in Iron Man 3?
Yeah, she was Iron Man. Everyone knows that. Crazy. So yeah, you didn't watch the movie, dude. Like, and I hate, like, nothing pisses me off more about, like, there are plenty of, like, fair criticisms about the MCU. But nothing pisses me off more than saying that they all feel formulaic. Yeah, it's a fucking franchise. Stop acting like it's not. Just because Guardians of the Galaxy is getting 3 movies doesn't make it a separate franchise from the other Marvel movies. It's one franchise. The problem is you're applying 1980s logic to 2021. We have never seen a franchise like this. That's the difference. And these guys, that's how I know they don't watch them. Because anybody with any semblance of, like, paying attention would be like, oh yeah, it's a franchise of like 25 movies. Like, that's clear. So yeah, they would have to all kind of work together. We've never seen that. What's the biggest franchise we've ever seen outside of this? Movie franchise. Harry Potter? Right? Star Wars at this point? No one argues that Star Wars like needs to look all completely different. No one argues that. No one argues that. If it steps out of line of what you're expecting, people get pissed. So, like, this argument that it's all the same, dude, Star Wars doesn't all look the same? Of course it does. It has to look the same. It has been done by many directors, right? Like, the fucking original trilogy, like, they don't all look wildly different. They're telling one giant cohesive story. So it has to, even if it's decades apart, it still has to look a certain way. Like, that criticism is a hack criticism, and it doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make any sense. And it generally comes from people who don't watch it.
Do you think it's because they've all of these movies have come out within 10, 15 years?
Yeah, I think that's largely it. Like, if these movies came out, like, at the same long, like, span, like Star Trek, where it's like there was 30 years between that, I don't think you'd hear this criticism. But no. Oh, they're all the same. Yeah, they're fucking supposed to be. Like, they're supposed to be. And they're not all the same. They're not. You telling me Chloe Zhao's Eternals is going to be exactly the same as The Winter Soldier? No, it won't. No, it won't.
No, but, Chloe Zhao is she's part of the club now.
Oh, she's a hack director. She's a hack.
Well, no, they'll say that hers. Oh, well, finally, a superhero movie that looks different. Not another flying man in the sky shooting lasers out of some orifice. Oh, wait.
Oops. Didn't see that second trailer, did you? Yeah, weird. It's not about the little, it's not about the big production points. It's about the little things that make the movies wildly different. That's why people have their favorites. Like, and it's not just story, it's design, it's character building.
It's character mostly. It's character mostly, which has always been Marvel's thing, right? It's always been Marvel's thing back in comic books and stuff like that. Like, you got to have interesting characters, man.
Right.
Like, you got to have people that you want to be on this ride with.
Right.
Otherwise, yes, it does feel samey. Which leads to your point that they probably haven't watched it.
No, like, dude, it's impossible. Dude, I would bet all the profits on this upcoming Dune movie that Denis Villeneuve hasn't seen a Marvel movie in years. Like, All right, cool. Tell me what's happening in the Marvel universe right now. He'd be like, well, currently the multiverse is happening. Like, no, dude, he's not. He doesn't know who, he who remains. He has no idea any of that shit. He doesn't, and he doesn't have to. But stop making blanket statements about how it's all the same when you don't know what you're talking about. That's a statement of ignorance, or a statement out of ignorance. And again, I'm not going to pretend that I know more about filmmaking than Denis Villeneuve. I clearly do not. That dude is an amazing director. But what I do know is you ain't watched this fucking movie. I know that. Like, knock it off. You didn't. And it's fine. It's fine. Just here's an idea. Shut the fuck up. Shutting up is free. Like, you don't have to say anything. Hey, what do you think of the Marvel movies? How about Dune? That's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about Dune. I got 5 people from the Marvel movies in my movie. Let's talk about Dune. Yeah. Stop giving them those fucking stupid quotes to make people angry. It's fucking dumb. All right, let's move on from there. What the fuck brought to you by JTD?
JTD posted a black truffle butter infused bison smash burger.
Yeah, I saw that.
And it looks incredible. Yeah, so go follow JTD on TikTok, whatever you young.
Yeah, he's Chef JTD. Chef, yeah. The letters JTD, I believe.
If you like food porn, like, yeah, go ahead and let JTD whip you up something.
Yeah, hit you with that Brazzers logo.
A woman allegedly, which means she absolutely 100% did it, has children with an ex-boyfriend because her husband looks like Micah. I mean, is too ugly.
Oh.
Afraid that having children with her ugly but otherwise great husband would cause them to end up looking horrible, a woman from this country allegedly decided to secretly have 4 kids with her handsome ex-husband. This woman, who married a successful, hardworking, and caring man despite his less than adequate looks. Wow.
Yeah, they're just throwing dirt on it. No, yeah, this is I'm not saying this is in Africa.
Yeah,
this is Africa. Yeah. This is Africa. I'm sorry. This is Africa. And I feel terrible for saying that. This is Africa. I know it is.
You fucking nailed it.
Yeah, I know it is. I know it is.
Oh, shit.
Like, I can just tell how it's written. Like, this shit feels offensive to me.
This is in Ghana.
Yeah. God damn it.
Yeah, where Kofi Kingston is from. His sunken chest, ugly ass. The fact that he was ugly by her standards didn't bother her too much until they decided to try for a baby. She loved everything else about him, but she couldn't risk giving birth to ugly children. So she always made sure to take birth control pills after sleeping with him. At one point, they went to a fertility clinic, and they both turned out to be healthy, which the woman already knew. So in order not to raise her husband's suspicions, she came up with a twisted yet ingenious plan. The anonymous woman detailed her diabolical plan in a letter to Akara-based radio station Hits FM, revealing that in order to make sure she gave birth to attractive children and also make her husband happy, she decided to contact her handsome ex-boyfriend, who was also married, but he had always been promiscuous. So it wasn't hard for the woman to convince him to have an affair. To avoid unnecessary drama, the woman always told her lover that she had taken birth control when, in fact, she had meant to get pregnant. So he only meant on it. Come on. I know a woman who did. Never mind. She was
not acceptable
with her husband as well to make him think that he had impregnated her. This way, she was the only one who knew who her beautiful father's children was. Yeah, this is fucked up, yo. Like, it feels fake, right? Like, it feels fake.
It does. No, I'm not okay with this. This ain't right.
I'm not okay with this either. I hit the lucky stick with the birth of our son. Our son is adorable. And for the longest time, he looked like his mother, which
Thank God.
Who you telling? But he's starting to look a little bit like me. And I was a cute kid. I didn't grow into this monstrosity that you see now until I was like in my 20s, you know.
No, you were pretty. No, that's not fair. You were pretty ugly in high school too.
So yeah, yeah. But this, I don't know. Something about this feels fake. I think it's the whole radio station thing. Whenever a radio station is involved in anything, it reminds me of that bullshit War of the Roses stuff. The Danny DeVito movie, but the
radio show bit.
Yeah, the acting troupe that pretends to have a big fight on the air, and the radio station DJs are like, "Oh, what's gonna happen now?" Like, all right,
yeah, relax.
So, but if this is true, goddamn, that's fucked up, lady.
Yeah.
Although I do understand, because I've seen some ugly kids, man. Like, our son's in daycare. I've seen some ugly children.
That ain't
nothing.
right.
Ain't nothing worse than an ugly kid, man.
Well, you just be like, pray for them. No, my daughter's adorable. I don't have those issues. But yeah, no, that's fucked up. Is that grounds for divorce?
Yeah.
Cheating?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I agree.
No, but I just wanted a pretty child. All right, well, have it with Pretty Ricky over there. Get the fuck out of here. So, I'm sorry that you chose to be with me and my ugly ass. Like, you chose this dude. You knew what he looked like.
All right. And she said that she, everything about him was great, except for the fact that he's ugly.
I mean, look.
Say about you, yo. Like,
look. If Beyonce can have children with Jay-Z, everything is going to work out fine. I mean, Jay-Z's not a handsome guy. He's not.
He's not. But he's also like somewhat wealthy, right? Like,
somewhat well, is he? Is he doing okay for himself?
I say that in comparison to her, right?
No, like, I think that. No, I think they're both doing. I don't think that's mostly
they're both doing well. I think she's the breadwinner in that family.
Oh, I don't think that's true. No. I think dude, he owns like Ace champagne and shit. No, like I think he's the breadwinner. But if he is, it's not by much. Like I think they both bring in like serious money.
$1.4 billion according to
for Jay-Z.
Yeah.
I don't think she's a billionaire.
Random website. Oh no, she really isn't.
No, she broke.
Her estimated net worth is $420 to $500 million.
See?
All right. Well,
see? Look at Jay-Z carrying that fucking financial lightweight Beyonce. just right. Carrying her around.
All you got to do is just be worth $1 billion fucking dollars, and you could look like a fucking turtle.
You crazy for this one. yo, Jay-Z is not a handsome guy, but that's the thing is there are no ugly billionaires. There's not.
Nope.
There's not. Like that nigga's ugly.
By the way, Beyonce is not with Jay-Z because of his money. Okay,
she got money. What the fuck?
Everybody calm down.
No, she don't need him for that. She likes him because he's his equal.
She likes him because she's a big Ninja Turtle fan. I don't know.
Like she could have taken the money or the dinner, and she was like, "I'll take the dinner," and then it's like shit popped off. If you would take that Jay-Z dinner, you're a fucking moron. You're a fucking
except
moron.
for Beyonce, who
you could have married Jay-Z.
Yeah, you could have married. See, that's a wrinkle that you didn't think about. See, if you took the dinner with Jay-Z, maybe you could pull him away from Beyonce, and he'll marry your ass.
I mean, he did cheat on Beyonce, which is crazy. Proving that no woman is like beauty has nothing to do with it. Like, it has nothing to do with it.
No.
And she's gorgeous. Like she is. I will never forget that documentary she had. Was it that fucking Coachella performance or whatever? She called him. She was like, I can fit back in that outfit. That's great. He was like, okay. Like, he ain't really giving a shit. Yeah, she was kind of mad. I'm like, it just proves, like, it don't matter. Like, this guy's got Beyonce at home, and he's like, whatever. Like, yeah.
If you married, you married, yo.
Yeah.
Like, it don't matter how much or how little money you got. If you married, you married.
You just married. And he was just like, I'm going to go, like, I'm watching the game. Like, can you call me later? Meanwhile, everybody in the world is like, Beyonce's the greatest person ever. He's like, yo, Beyonce be getting on my nerves sometimes. Like, could you just be quiet? I'm trying to watch the game. Yeah. They're just human, man. They're just human. No, but this is fucked up. It's fucked up. Don't do that to that man. Don't have, just have kids with that ugly man and, just pray that it works out.
Yeah. What about your genes? Are your genes so weak that you won't sire beautiful children?
I mean, look, I've met quite a few people where I was like, oh, that kid looked like the other one? Damn, that's fucked up. Like, that's sad. Like, that's unfortunate. Like, I can think of a handful of people I was like, yeah, it's a real shame that kid didn't turn out looking like the mom than the dad. That's unfortunate. And then you see some kids, they look like their mom. You're like, woo, dodged a bullet. You dodged a bullet. So, yeah, no, your kid's very lucky. Thank God. Whew, thank God.
No kidding. Yep. He's starting to look like me now.
Yeah.
I've seen there's one picture I'll show you a picture of him off air where he was side-eyeing my wife because she wasn't there, and she was offended by it. And he looks like me in that picture.
My daughter has gained my scowl, which is like, so I was like, oh, where'd you get that scowl from? I was like, take a look. You're like, all right, yeah, that makes sense. I was like, yeah. My story, weird venomous caterpillar that looks like a walking toupee are invading this American state.
West Virginia.
Damn, that's close. Virginia. That's pretty close. That was really close. A bizarre, you got to click on the story because it's fucking crazy. A bizarre little insect that looks like a walking toupee and squirts venomous pus from knife-like spines is terrorizing Virginia this year. Yo, it does
looks like a tribble.
Yeah, yo, it looks like it looks like a fucking toupee. Like, that's really fucking disturbing. The venomous pus caterpillar is the larval form of a southern flannel moth. And if you see one, you should stay away from it. Its hairs are actually spines that make it among the most venomous caterpillar in the United States. A woman in New Kent County described the sensation of scorching hot knives passing through the outside of my calf. Fuck. When she brushed against one on the door of her car. Pus caterpillars have appeared in Virginia before, according to the Virginia's Department of Forestry. And they've been found as far north as New Jersey, but they're much more common in Florida. Yeah, that state sucks. And the greatest abundance in west central Texas, according to the University of Florida. Yeah, man. No thanks. That's cool. I've got family in Virginia. If I see one of these things, I'm fucking running.
Yeah, well, they don't live that far deep into Virginia, right? Like, I imagine this is like wing ding diddly dee Virginia.
Yes. The technical part of Virginia called wing ding diddly dee. No, that feels right. I don't know. I mean, some of them live in Northern Virginia. Others live a little bit more Southern Virginia. So, I'm not going. Like, that's gross and weird and really creepy. Yeah.
Yeah, that thing looks weird, man. It looks like a tribble. It looks like a Trouble with Tribble.
Yeah.
The Trouble with Tribble episode of
Star Trek.
Yeah, get out of here.
No thanks.
Like a scorching knife. Ugh.
Yeah, good lord. All right, trailers this week.
I think JTD is saying that I'm ugly and you need a wig. Is what he's saying.
All right, nigga. All right. Yo, bald headed ass motherfucker. Like, fuck you too, bro. That's funny. God damn it. Trailers this week. We got a trailer for the Hawkeye series. featuring Clint Barton and Kate Bishop as Hawkeyes. What did you think of this trailer?
Look, this is interesting. Look, I am not a fan of. I'm not necessarily a fan of the Hawkeye character, mainly for petty reasons, right? Like he uses a bow and arrow in a world where, a guy can shoot energy out of his hands.
Right.
But that's just like a nitpick. I don't have any beef with the character in and of itself. I find it interesting that, people were super excited to see him in his Ronin attire, where he was using swords like a real man. But Hawkeye is. I remember the big campaign of like justice for Hawkeye, right? Because in the first Avengers movie, he was kind of sidelined.
Yeah, he was.
And so they tried to make up for it in Age of Ultron to mixed results. I think now you'll get your justice for Hawkeye. And I also find it interesting that like the one thing that everyone is talking about this Hawkeye trailer is the Steve Rogers musical.
That's hilarious.
Proving that none of you give a fuck about Hawkeye. Not when Captain America is available.
I mean, what's hilarious is how much impact Steve Rogers has in the universe after him leaving.
Yep, I wanted to make that point. Just to shit on how Warner Brothers handled the DC thing. They had a whole goddamn television series based on the fact that of dealing with the ramifications of losing their version of Superman.
Yeah.
Right. And even this show is showing like little winks and nods, like him not being around has affected this universe.
Yeah, big time.
And just what a fucking waste it was to kill Superman in the second movie of their like universe.
Right.
It's such a wasted opportunity that you can never do again.
No,
and
you can't.
And he didn't, and he kind of died like a bitch, right? Like he didn't die in some knockdown drag out with Doomsday while trying to make sure that everybody was safe and all that. Like, nah, yo, like
he just got stabbed.
Essentially, yeah, he got shanked, yo. And I don't know. It just I'm just so disappointed with it. But anyway, we're talking about Hawkeye. Look, bottom line, this looks fun. This has like shades of like a spy thriller set at Christmas, right?
It's got a bit of a Die Hard feel to it.
I mean, you're saying that just because it's set there.
I know I'm a sucker for action franchises and action movies during Christmas. There's something about violence and snow and like Deck the Halls that really works for me.
Look, this trailer is fun. The trailer is super fun. Like the music works well with it. Look, as much as I'm making fun of you for only comparing this to Die Hard because it is set at Christmas, which, even Die Hard didn't have fucking snow and shit around it because it was in LA.
Right.
But
gas was 99 cents.
There is something about like this setting because you don't see stuff like this in this setting.
Right.
So yeah, it's cool, man. I like the spy feel of it. That's my jam, right?
Yeah.
You put more spy shit and stuff. I am going to watch it. And they're like team up spies, man.
Yeah. Like
this is cool.
It looks very fun. It's got the team up spy aspect. It's like the bow and arrow thing super works because it's clearly a very grounded story. There's no supernatural anything. At least as far as we can tell. And I hope it stays that way. I think I think they're nailing it. Like it comes out November 24th. So it's like right when you're starting to get that like Christmas time is coming kind of feel. It's going to be cold outside. Like it's kind of perfect, right? Like it's super works. One thing that I thought was really interesting, that I'm glad they did, and I don't recall them doing it in the previous, movies, is they're showing Hawkeye with, an earpiece. Cause he has like degenerative hearing issues, right? He has hearing loss. So I thought that's kind of cool, like a small sort of nod to that part of the character. I think Kate Bishop looks cool. Like it I don't know, it just looks fun. It looks like a really fun time. And again, just that setting, like you said, like you don't see it very often, so it's just kind of cool to kind of dig into that. But yeah, just like you got Pizza Dog there, clearly, like
Lucky.
Yeah, you got Jeremy Renner's Hawkeye, still like a badass, but still falling and getting hurt. Like he's very much a human being, right? Like he's not just like this invincible character. And also Kate Bishop is got a little bit of that too, right? So I don't know. I think it's going to be cool for him to retire by the end of this and say, "Hey, I'm hanging the bow up. You got it. Go for it." So
yeah, that's very clearly what this is, right?
Yeah, of course.
And but yeah, I'm excited for it, man. It looks super fun, like you said, and look, just give me more of this stuff.
Yep.
My one big criticism is that with this trailer is that this looks exactly like Loki.
Yeah. Okay. That's a fair point.
Yeah. It looks exactly like Loki. Like that guy, like Jeremy Renner looks exactly like Tom Hiddleston.
That's racist.
He looks exactly like him. And in turn, this in fact looks exactly like WandaVision.
They're all the same.
It looks exactly like it. There's something about these Marvel properties where I mean it might as well have just copied and pasted WandaVision.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
It looks the same.
Nice.
It looks exactly the same.
Yes, WandaVision, exactly the same as this. In every way. Like even the black and white parts, exactly the same.
Exactly the same.
I mean, there is obviously you're kidding, but like there is something kind of interesting about the fact that all of these series are all male female team ups.
Yeah, well, women exist. I know. Like women exist and like this stuff. So
yeah, it turns out
they should be represented.
Yeah, I just find that interesting that seems to be the move of like teaming these male and female characters up, and giving them 50-50 build, which is fine by me.
Well, it's very formulaic, Jay.
It is. Yeah, we should probably just not have women in it then. I think that's what Denis Villeneuve was saying. That misogynist. All right, I think that is it for us. I don't know what's happening next week, but we will find out. So.
Hey, Cam, I hope you're doing well on your marathon.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you suck, by the way. Run faster.
The longest distance I've ran was 10 miles. I did the Army 10-miler twice, and not obviously at the same time or back to back, but I did it twice in consecutive years. And it was a fucking, like, it's a lot. So I can't imagine doing that and then that again, and then half of that, and then one more mile.
No. The longest I've ever run was a 5K. I barely ran it because I had such horrible shin splints because I need Frankenstein orthopedic shoes because I'm an old man. You doing this is silly because the only time you should be running is if you're being chased. Good luck to you, sir.
I've met Cam. We've met Cam.
Unfortunately,
there are plenty of reasons why people would want to chase after him.
That's true. I assume that's why he's doing this. Either way, good luck, man. Try not to blow out a knee or an ACL or whatever it is you runners do.
Eat some pasta when you're done.
Aren't you supposed to do it beforehand? Are you supposed to like carbo load? That's what I did when I swam in high school.
And don't look like a bitch running across the finish line. Like fucking straighten up, get your stride right, because that's when everybody's going to be taking pictures.
Yeah, get the Band-Aids on your nipples from the chafing. All that.
Yeah. I've never had bloody nipples. I always wear a shirt that's tight enough that I don't get bloody nipples. So that's how you do that. If you don't want to put Band-Aids on your nipples, just wear a fucking tight ass shirt.
Yeah, no, I'm all about the schmedium life.
Yeah, I used to be, and then now it looks like I'm about to give birth to a schmedium baby. So I can't wear those shirts.
It's not a good look, man. It's not a good look.
You wearing a tight ass shirt with your belly hanging out?
Oh, not at the bottom, not at the bottom. Don't do that. That's not a good look for anybody.
Yeah, not at all. So good luck, and take some pictures of your medals and all that crap. You son of a bitch. I wanted to run a marathon, but then I stopped. And now I can't because I'm fucking old.
That's not why. It has nothing to do with age.
It's because I'm old.
It's because you're fat. That's why. There's an old dude running next to Cam right now who is older than you, who's less fat. That's it. That's it. That's your reason. All right. That's it for us. Good luck, Cam. Seriously, man, that's a hell of an accomplishment. I ain't doing it. All right, we will see you guys next week.
See ya.